here fixing to hike another trail. We're going to go back in and see if I can get a little closer here. We're at this point. We've got to walk back in just a little ways, and we're going to hang a right and go up here and we're going to hike the Harmony Hill Loop, which is 1.7. Now there's two trails over here, the Harmony Hill, and of course the Old Henderson Road Loop, which is 1.4 miles. One of these trails is more of a moderate trail instead of easy. I'm not sure which one it is, but I guess we're fixing to find out. So we're going to go back in here and check it out. Right across the road from the amphitheater, and of course the bathhouse, and then one of the camping sites is back over here. And of course, go back out this way. You got the screened-in shelters, a couple cabins, and you know, on back down in that direction. Or actually, I think you got to go a little bit further. You'll come to the day use area, and the way to get to the island trail, which you're going to have to cross a bridge to go over to get over there on that trail. Now they do have primitive campsites over there, so in the videos you will get information on pricing and information on the campsites, you know, whether they're level, how big they are, what they have to offer as far as services, and you know, you'll have all that kind of information. But for now, hey, let's go hike a trail. Now I got my body cam going, and also, actually I think I'm going to shut my handheld cam off and just kind of use it here and there when needed, because the body cam seems be a little bit more smoother as I'm hiking. So I'm going to shut this one off. And here we go. We got to walk back up from here just a little bit, which it doesn't look like I had to go too far to get to the trails. Now these trails are pretty well marked. I know when I was over there checking out the island trail, going over on the island, seeing the primitive campsites, I did come across an armadillo out there. Now the reason I stopped, I hear kind of thought it was some kind of animal up here in the tree, but I guess with the wind blowing, it's two branches kind of rubbing against each other, which is kind of cool. But anyways, I did see an armadillo over there, and I did talk to one lady that, you know, she said that there are deer and rabbits and squirrel and other animals over there on the island too. And I was thinking that, you know, being an island, that nah, there wouldn't be no animals over there other than birds, you know, because they're not going to cross a bridge to get over there on the island or swim over to the island. But she said there are. She has seen deer over there. She's seen squirrel and rabbits. And I said, well, I just checked the armadillo off my list. I saw that while I was over there. So that kind of changed my point of view on an island, that I guess animals can get over there. So looks like a pretty smooth place. Of course, we're running down through a wide area here where they have a power line that's running back and forth up through here. So I'm not sure where the power lines go to, but there's power back in here somewhere. I did take a few still shot pictures over on the island, but I'm still trying to figure this new camera out. It was clicking, but it wasn't taking any pictures, so, you know, hopefully I got that issue taken care of. So if I take some pictures over here, they will come out this time. Alright, well, this is kind of cool. This park, they give you a mileage sign. I don't know if you can see it through there, but it says mile 1. So I guess we're fixing to walk the first mile, or a number for the mile. Not sure how they're figuring that out exactly, but maybe I get to the next one, they'll have a little better idea. Because I know I haven't walked a mile yet. If I have, then I guess I slept through most of it. Well, hopefully I'm not going to be just walking this kind of path all the way through here, because it looks like it's about the same thing, a clearing going down where I got to turn here. Now over there is a restroom over there. Well, actually right there is where the cleaning station is. So, and we're going back this way, but I still got these power poles running back through here. I'll have to check, and let's see here. I guess this is the trail going back down through that way. And what it looks like is right here is a sign that says Harmony Hill Trail. Now, let me go this way. I have to check and see if mountain bikes are able to run these trails or whether it's just hiking only. I will get that information for you, but if it is a bike trail, looks like they're pretty decent to go ride a bike on. A lot of pine needles on the ground, but I mean, that might be a little slick here and there. Yeah. Now it looks like we're going to start getting off into the thick stuff here. So yeah, this is going to be cool. I mean, I love over there on the island. That was pretty awesome. It was an alternative trail. They had a lot of plaques or signs, you know, giving a lot of information. Well, I guess you got to watch two things going on this trail. You got to watch where you're walking, as well as you're not going to have any of these little branches hanging out hit you in the face. Looks like they could do a little bit of trimming here and there. Oh, little butterfly. I don't know if it's coming through on the camera, but see a little white butterfly flying around here. Definitely hearing a lot of birds. So, I haven't gone very far and I'm loving it already. Maybe I'll see some wildlife over here on this one. Some deer. I guess this is a lot of oak trees. And I can see a lot of the trees over here. They're starting to get their buds, starting to turn green. So, these trails are going to be beautiful in these parks when everything turns green and starts coming out. got a little breeze blowing here and there, but I don't think it's gonna interfere with my audio too much. Not like what it did over there at Lake Tawakoni. That last day I was over there, that wind was blowing something coming off the lake. I mean, it had some pretty good sized waves coming in onto the shore where it almost made you think you were at the beach. I think a lot more of these trees over here are oak trees. Of course, I'm sure there's other trees in here, but I'm not seeing as many pines over here. I think they're loblolly pines, or not loblolly, but a cedar pine over there on the island. And of course, they had other trees over there as well, but oh, this is cool. A lot of good places for birds to hide, nest in, not to mention other animals. Looks like that branch right there broke off of that tree way up yonder. If you are a smoker, kind of keep an eye on your cigarette so the end of it doesn't fall down on these pine needles or leaves and we get some kind of a fire going. This is kind of cool. We'll take a picture here. Maybe. There it goes. Still trying to figure this camera out. But yeah, this is what I'm talking about. They need to do a little tree trimming here because, yeah, you're going to have to dodge that, duck, or whatever to get around it. Other than that, this is cool. We'll kind of be quiet and walk here. Maybe come up on some wildlife. If I'm not talking, they don't hear me coming, which I'm sure they do hear me coming. Definitely some thick woods out here. tell me. This would be a spooky little trail hike in the dark. But I would do it. Probably should have brought my drink with me. There's a few tall pines right through this area. A lot of dead branches and roots and everything here on the ground. Gotta go down a little decline. This might be the moderate trail because it does have some going up and down. And of course, this time of year with all these leaves on the ground, it might be a little slick. I'm going to kind of take my time going down it. Either that or we're probably going to have some good content in this video, which I might help the channel, but I mean, I probably wouldn't like it. Because that's where water runs down through here and on down the lake, just a washout. It's pretty awesome. Beautiful. Oh, bird just flew over my head. Didn't see what it was. I was looking at the ground, but I caught it out of the corner of my eye. It wasn't far from me. I can see the lake from here. So we're still close to the lake. Of course, these trails, the area it's in, it's not a very big area, but the way they make the trails kind of zigzag back and forth and curve around is what makes the trails longer to hike. But I mean, I just right over there, I could have just cut through and been over here, and probably if I cut right through there, I'll be over there. But it will all still be the same trail. And right over through there is the day use area, and where you would park to walk across the bridge over there onto the island. So even though we walked a little ways, we're still not very far from where we parked, because like I said, we're just kind of zigzagging back and forth. Saw a cardinal fly in front of me off into this thick brush here. Plenty of places for them to hide. That's for sure. I guess you could park over there in the parking lot that they use and just walk across the road here and get on this trail, or go on down where the amphitheater is, where I'm parked, is really where the trailhead starts. That way you can, take your choice of which one you want to go on. I don't know if they're going to have any benches out here on this trail, but it would be nice, especially when you walking a good little distance, to be able to have a place to kind of sit and take a little break, especially if you're up there in age a little bit or not used to hiking trails, which I guess I would fall in both parts of that category. Shouldn't be much longer. We'll be coming in to our rainy season, where I won't be able to do a whole lot of anything until that's over with. Because I know I'm so ready to go camping. I mean, this is pretty nice camping weather right now. Still a little cool during the night, but the days are pretty decent. But when summertime gets here, that will all change, because then it's just going to be hot. But it probably won't be too bad if there's a nice breeze blowing. Being out here with a lot of shade from the trees over top of you. The little pines are starting down here on the ground. I guess when the big ones, time for them to go. It's kind of recycling. There'll be new ones to take its place. Looks like it might be pretty close to the park entrance up here. And I'm sure it'll kind of curve back off to the left. Pretty much is what we're fixing to do right now. But yeah. Already walked over a mile already. And yeah, my leg's starting to feel it already too. So, but just take my time and enjoy. I guess most people that get on these trails more for like a workout. But I've done my workout most of my life, so nowadays it's just kind of no big hurry. I look at it, if I'm on a trail, the distance of what the trail is, how much daylight I got, and the pace I want to go, that'll tell me on whether I want to do it or not. See, got a big tree that fallen here that I guess went across the path, and they've kind of cut it up. They should have just taken those things and kind of set them up on in here. It made like a little bench, a little sitting area. Kind of like what they do there at Tyler State Park, except they don't set them up to where it's kind of like a chair. They just leave the log laying there, and where 2 or 3 people or more can kind of sit on it. Well, looks like we're fixing to change or possibly go across whatever this opening is. It's like a little roadway that comes back in here. Probably park use only. Back over there, I don't know if you see the flags flying over there, but that's the park headquarters. That's where we came in, and this goes back that way there somewhere, but we're going to cross right over and continue. I got some wind blowing right through here because it's more open. Back off in here the pines. Of course, that wind feels pretty good right now. It would have been a little chilly if it was earlier, but I'm sure it's after 12 now, so wind feels pretty good. Looks like this trail might have some intuitive signs also, so I'm going to turn this camera back on to be able to video that. This is on the American Beautyberry. First park I walked in, where I got started, I come across this, but of course I couldn't remember what berry or plant that was until I got to Tyler State Park, where they had intuitive signs, and saw that. I said, all right, well, at least now I know what that plant is, what that berry is. definitely see like little paths that go off to the side here and there. Not big enough to hike on, but look more like a game trail where possibly deer have gone through. Right there's the park headquarters, the entrance. Not very big. They do have a few little items in there in the store area. Not a whole lot, but they do have a few, few items in there. Stickers and pins and a little bit on the drinks. Not a big variety. T-shirts, some little collectible items to show that you were at that park. The peacefulness of being out in nature. Not sure how big this park is. I'll have to get that information. Could cut right through there to get back to the road and the headquarters, but we got some more trail to hike. Definitely gonna have to take a few little breaks here and there to kind of let my leg relax a minute. Yep, a lot of little pines growing here. Gonna grow up to be big someday. Hopefully. I do have a walking stick that I got back when I started going to the park. Don't know if that would help any. Kind of give you a little information there. Probably back in 77, 78, somewhere in that area. Family and I were out on the lake water skiing, and I did find water skiing, done it many a times, but this day was well, let's put it this way, wasn't one I wanted to happen, but when I was done water skiing, you just let go of the rope and you kind of fall back into the water, come to a stop. Boat comes back and picks you up. Well, when I let go of the rope, coming to a stop, it's like the one ski formed a suction on my foot to where it didn't come off. It just basically rotated my leg around and broke my knee. So I had to go through surgery and You know, they weren't sure they were going to be able to save my leg, but thank the Lord they were. You know, I had to take bone graft out of my hip to kind of piece it back together, I guess. And then, of course, plates and pins, you know. But doctor said, he said, well, the good news is I saved your leg. I said, well, yeah, that's good news. He said, but the bad news is that it may not be quite the same length it was, or it might not be straight. You know, your foot might kind of go off to the side a little bit. I said, well, I can deal with that as long as I got my leg, you know. But it seemed like it took me forever to rehabilitate, almost a year and a half before I could even walk on it without any type of you know, device, crutches or walker or anything. You know, going through a lot of therapy, you know, trying to, you know, get used of it again. But you know, that's kind of what hinders me on the, you know, a lot of walking, you know, because I guess, you know, doing things, I use my other leg for most of the pressure or holding me, and the other is just kind of basically bounce off of it. So in a way, I wasn't using those muscles as much. So, but out here hiking trails, yeah, you're having to use it. So, you know, it's taken me a little while to kind of get those muscles where they need to be. You know, it is getting better, but you know, it's not like something you're just going to jump right off into and, you know, go for it. So it looks like we're kind of curving back around, going back the other direction now. So we must be pretty much right along the borderline of the park, I would say. That's one thing that's nice about Tyler State Park. You know, with those big pines they have there, the ones that have fallen, come uprooted, you know, sat along the trail. The ones I was talking about a little bit ago, they make, you know, pretty good benches to sit on. It'd be nice if they had a few of those through here. All right, well, I'm probably halfway point now. I made a split here. You can go to the left and it'll shorten the distance, or you can kind of bear off to the right here, go straight and do the full distance all the way around. This will just cut over and connect back over there kind of on the other side. We're not going to take the short distance, we're going to do the whole trail. Now I would say if I was at Tyler State Park, and I just finished one of the challenging trails, which, oh, that was definitely a workout for me, almost a nightmare. It took me forever to get across that trail, going up and down hills. And at least I had plenty of places to take breaks here and there, sit down and relax a minute, but, you know, that would probably have been one place, if they would have had a little cut across trail to shorten it, I would have probably taken it, you know, but nah. It took me a while to get through it, and I said I was going to walk the whole trail, and I did. But I know when I was done with that trail, you pretty much say I was done for the day. There wasn't no way I was going to be able to walk another one. Oh, this is so cool out here. I love every bit of this. Even though I'm hearing a lot of sounds around me with the power plant and planes going over top and being close to the road where I hear traffic now and then. But hearing the wind blowing in the trees, the leaves kind of rustling across the ground as they're blowing. This is definitely cool. I can't think of nothing else better to do than this. Oh well, I probably could think of stuff better to do than this, but no. This is worth getting out, enjoying life. Especially at my age nowadays, being retired, not having a whole lot to do. I mean, I still do my paranormal investigating, which coming up this weekend, I'll be going to location for the weekend, 2 nights. Place I've been before, but you know, don't see what activity's going on. It's been a while since I've been to this location, so kind of looking forward to that. It's about time, you know, usually this time of year, you know, October through February, I don't do a whole lot, you know, in the paranormal field. Kind of take a break through the winter season, the holidays, but yeah, it's time to get back doing it. I'm here at another intuitive sign, and just gives you a little bit information on some of the plants and wildlife. Of course, you hear, I don't know if you watch any YouTube videos on people go camping, but there are some Texas state parks that you have the Argentine ants, which I hear they're basically a pain. You know, they get into everything. They're, I believe, one of the largest ants, and I believe they're from Argentina, Brazil, somewhere in that area. And then you got the looks like Chinese privet, I think that's how you pronounce it. Looks like some kind of berry type plant that birds love. And then it talks about the European starling. I guess the starling basically was recognized up in New York City Central Park. And then the giant Sylvania. Now that's an issue they were having at Caddo Lake, from what I remember, that was kind of taking over the lake. And it just gets so thick and green, it almost looked like it was land. But from what I understand, they were able to use some kind of insect, a bull or something like that, that would feast off of it, and it would kill it. But they were worried about they were going to lose all their lake because of this plant. And then, you know, out here in a lot of the woods, you have the feral hogs, and they just like to tear things up, uproot everything. So they're kind of an issue. Usually they say if you see one in the park somewhere, let park headquarters know about it, because they try to trap it or capture it, and you know, I don't know what they do with it. And then the Chinese talo, out of the tongue-tied on that one. It's a, I mean, it blooms almost like a dogwood in a way. It looks like it's a pretty tree, but I guess they're a fast-spreading tree that kind of dominates the land, takes over. So I guess they kind of keep control on that, where, you know, they'll cut a lot of them down just to keep it from taking over. you know, these parks and the forests and everything. Kind of let some of the native landscape and shrubbery and trees to keep thriving. You know, a lot of times in my videos, if you've seen any of my other videos, I'll do little short clips where I'll kind of set my camera up on a tripod stand and, you know, do kind of a walk by through, so you can kind of see me walking down the trail, or one where I'm kind of walking coming towards the camera. But I'm having issues with the threaded mount on my camera to where it's loose on the tripod, so I'm basically having to go with a different type of handle for my cameras that stays tight. Here's where the other end of that kind of shortcut comes out over here. If you go that way, go back over there where we were at a little earlier. But yeah, no, we're still gonna do the whole trail. This is all private land over here. Big old pasture, open field. Got some thick looking cedar pines over there on that side though. Take me a picture. Get a little closer. Yeah, still having problems with this camera. I gotta wait till I hear that shutter click so I know it took the picture. I mean, it's showing the green bar like it took the picture, but I don't hear the shutter release, so I just gotta make sure I listen for that sound. That way I know the picture was captured. Little sign says danger, do not enter. No problem. I want to be over here in the shade anyway. Yeah, it looks like we're fixing to cross back over this road again, back onto the other side. Get back over here in the shade. And it looks like this little place through here probably gets pretty muddy when it rains. They put a board, a little bridge here for you to walk across. Yeah. Back out that way is where we crossed over earlier, back by the park road. And of course this road goes back up in there. I mean, it may still be park. Looks like possibly a water storage up there, or I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe not a water storage. Maybe it's something to do with the power or sewage or something. I don't know. Another tentative sign. Yeah, haven't seen this one before. This is a water oak. I guess that's what this one big tree is a water oak. Grows well in wet or swampy areas, or you know, kind of like in drainage areas. A tree can grow up to 80 foot tall. White-tailed deer, squirrels, raccoons, wood ducks are all dependent on the acorns for food. So it has an acorn that falls out of the tree. Of course, I'm looking around to see if I can see any acorns on the ground here. I guess the animals already got them for this year. So unless that's, I don't know if that's what that is right there or not. It might be. Alright, well, learned another tree. As we continue, it's nice and shaded through here. It's kind of open where you can see through, but it's pretty much all pines, which is cool. I may get me a different camera because I'm just not liking the way this one's working. And I'm just checking my post here to see if my video had loaded on a little short posting I did for Facebook and TikTok. Kind of like an intro in a way, I guess you could say. I need to get me a better phone because this is just not working like what it needs to. I don't know what that file is. Alright. Worry about that later. We got hiking to do here. Yeah, give my break, give my leg a break there for a minute though. So it's not complaining. Yeah, the trunks on these pines are not even close to the size of the ones at Tyler State Park. So maybe they're not as old. I know the ones there are over 100 years old and over 100 foot tall, even though these look like they're probably 100 foot. But the trunks are a whole lot smaller. More dogwood tree here growing. I don't know if it comes through on the camera. But yeah, I guess that's dogwood. Kind of a purplish pink top flower. Looks like a lot of them down through here. See if I can get down here. Well, here on the trail where the power lines go through. But we're going to cross over and go on up through the woods here. However, I'm going to walk down this way just a little bit and see if I can get a better picture of the dogwood, because it didn't work for me over on the island. This might show up because it's got some dark background there. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. Damn. Yeah. I mean, I gotta play with it, but to get it to snap a picture. But if I need saw an animal, I need to take a picture real quick. You know, this is not the camera for that. But if you're coming up on some kind of flower or plant or tree or something like that, where you're not in kind of a hurry to take a picture, well, it'd work all right for that. But looks like I see a hiker coming. I think maybe that's I think it's the first one I've seen on this trail. Saw one on the Highland Trail. Oh, there's a deer. Oh, he's hauling back down through there. My body camera might have caught him running across the path. But he probably took off because of the hiker on the other side there being close. They are out here. Deer was right in here and it ran off down through there. Oh, there he is. I didn't see him down there. Looked like two of them. How you doing? There are at least two of them down in there. Kind of far away, but have to have more of a clearing to be able to get a little better picture, but I still wouldn't be able to zoom in close enough to get a good look at them. They probably like it over here. All these pine needles probably make a soft bed for them to kind of nest in. That's kind of cool. A vine growing right here, going up into the trees. That's pretty thick. That's probably almost 2.5, 3 inches round. There's another deer just ran down through there. I don't know if I had my camera on quick enough to see it, but look at this vine. That's a pretty good sized vine. Just goes right up, splits off up there. Part goes over to that tree, and the other part goes over to that tree. But that's got to be at least 2.5, 3 inches round. Seen 3 deer right through here. I don't know if there's any more or not. They've run off down through that way. But I don't see any more. Continue on. Keep my handheld camera out in case I come across some more. Pine needles, it's almost like a cushion, kind of soft when you get a pile of them. Can't remember what pine tree has the long soft needles, whether it's a loblolly pine or a cypress pine. There's another pine tree, but I can't remember the name of it. But well, coming up to something here. This might be the split of the 2 trails. Maybe not. don't see any. Oh yeah, there it is. Right there is the sign. Oh, well, this little part of the trail kind of got like a gravel in it. You go that way, the old Henderson Trail or the Harmony Hill Trail. Is this the way I came in? I don't remember crossing this. Well, where am I? Let's take a walk through here and see where we're at. Well, it's a little camp area. So I'd almost say we probably had to go that way. So that's probably the other part that goes to the trail. So I'm pretty sure this is the way back to the vehicle. Even though they don't have a sign pointing this way, but they do have a sign pointing to go on the part we just came down on. But those are the campsites over there to the right, and that might be the looks like where I'm parked over there, where the bathhouse is, and the went brain dead here. The auditorium, or not? Yeah, the auditorium. Amphitheater. Yeah, I'll get it right here eventually. I mean, we probably could have walked out and just walked down the road. But we're coming up to that clearing where we'll walk back to the right here, I believe, to get back out the way we came in, because we came up and took a right here and walked straight back down that way for a little ways and then turned left. So this is the way we came in, which right there is the bathhouse. So we completed this trail. Take a little break and get something to drink and have a little snack, and maybe we'll come back over here and do the other trail. That way I can complete this park in one day. But like I say, it'll be a few videos to the series, because I can't put it all in one video.